What makes a good roguelike game different from a bad one? If we're talking about top-down roguelike games like The Binding of Isaac or Enter the Gungeon, it usually comes down to level generation and how well that structure supports the gameplay. And that's exactly where I decided to start when designing the core gameplay loop of my own game. If you look at how level generation works in The Binding of Isaac, you'll notice that each room is essentially a pre-made prefab. Enemies, obstacles, and objects are randomized inside those rooms, and each room connects to up to 4 others. As you move through doors, you're effectively building your own path through the floor. After clearing enough rooms, you reach the boss, defeat it, and move on to the next floor. It's a simple system, familiar, a classic at this point, but it is also a pretty straightforward approach to procedural generation. So I decided to do something similar, but with a few twists, both visual and gameplay related. First, I'm also using pre-designed level layouts. I placed potential spawn points for enemies, walls, items, and other obstacles in advance. This gives me much more control over the look and feel of each level. I can carefully design the atmosphere and add decorations and shape the gameplay experience while still keeping randomness where it matters. But here's the big difference. I'm not using the traditional floor made of many rooms structure. In Isaac, every room connects to others, and you can always backtrack to any part of the floor. That's great, but for my game, it felt a little bit slow, a bit tedious, and not quite aligned with the core idea I had in mind. Instead, in my game, one floor equals one room. You move between floors using elevators. From the very beginning, that was part of the concept. The key feature of this structure is that you can't go back. Once you leave a floor, it's gone. You can only move upward. This simplifies development and speeds things up, but it also creates a strong gameplay twist. Players have to think more carefully about their decisions because there's no second chance to revisit what they left behind. After planning everything out, I moved on to implementation. Since each floor is essentially a prepared layout, I used GameMaker's built-in room system. Each room acts as a level. When transitioning, the game selects a random room from a list tied to a specific world. Oh right, I should probably mention worlds. My game will feature multiple worlds. Each world consists of 5 to 10 rooms during a run, of course, but in reality there are more variations behind the scenes. I'm planning to include quite a few worlds overall, and they will appear randomly during each run. So in a single playthrough you might not even encounter all the worlds that exist in the game. Some worlds will probably be only unlockable after you beat the game a few times or after you achieve something in the game. So next came the elevators, the transition system. I separated the elevator cutscenes into arrival and departure. At the start of each level, you arrive by elevator. At the end, you leave the same way. The flying through the void part of the cutscene is identical in both cases, which helps make transitions between levels feel seamless and less obvious. You can arrive on one of these random elevators, bottom, left, or right, never the top, due to how the animations are structured. When leaving, you can use the top, left, or right elevator. You can't leave using the same elevator you arrived in. I wanted each departure to feel like moving forward, like you're constantly progressing somewhere new. It's surprisingly satisfying to step into a new elevator at the end of each level. These cutscenes took a lot of time to get right, but now the system is solid and flexible. From a coding perspective, it's something I'll be able to reuse in many other parts of the game. On the gameplay side, I added a random enemy spawner. For now, enemies are different colors just to simulate variety. Also, the player can now take damage. You start with 3 hearts, which I've added to the UI. And I also introduced a currency, apples. Why apples? First, it's a little tribute to retro games and one of my childhood favorites, Crash Bandicoot. The main currency there was fruit, not apples specifically, but close enough to inspire me. Second, my game takes takes place in the void, a space between the human world and heaven. I thought it would be funny and fitting if apples were both currency and substance, a small biblical reference. In this empty world, apples are everything, money and food, like grain used to be in ancient times. Enemies now drop apples when they die. I added physics to them, a suction effect when the player gets close, and some extra visual polish. Honestly, they feel great and make the gameplay more fun. I also added impact frames when your ball hits an enemy. That tiny moment of visual feedback makes kicking the ball feel much more satisfying. Those are the major updates so far. I'm still developing the game pretty actively and have a lot planned. I'm currently working on adding co-op, which I want to make one of the main features of the game. I'm also building a combo system. A lot of you suggested that in the comments, and I have thought about it before. Designing new rooms, like a shop for example, and I will also be gradually replacing placeholder sprites with proper graphics. The first enemy sprites are already done. I also invite you to join my Discord server. I post updates there almost daily, share development progress, run polls about what to add next, and discuss ideas with players. You'll be able to give feedback on the game, ask questions directly to me, or just hang out with people who love games as much as you do. Right now, I'm even having a discussion with players on what the game's name should be. So if you have ideas, please come and share them. And that's it for now. See you in the next video.